We begin in London, at the German embassy, where Johann Wilhelm Freiherr Zutanen is going about his business, when there comes a knock at his office door.
Herein?
Zutanen! And
Who's there?
it's a message from the boss. There's something he wants you to go and do. All these conversations are obviously in German.
Sure.
Yes.
I'm gonna get up and meet him at the door.
Apparently, there's a lecture, a talk in Oxford about Anglo-German history, and look, you read the pamphlet. It explains it all in full. But the invite was sent here. They thought it'd be nice if a representative of the German embassy were to go and show our face and make nice with the academics up at Oxford. And the boss said that seeing as you have been skiving off your duties on multiple occasions in the last few months, that you were being volunteered for this task.
I see.
And you just have to go there, be very polite, on your best behaviour. It's just drinking wine and making small talk with academics.
I think I will be able to complete that task.
There's no way you can get that wrong.
I don't think so either. And I'll just fold the invitation and put it in my pocket. Is there any additional guests that I should be aware of?
No, it's just that it's a Dr. Edmund Hughes giving a talk on history, and there's probably some other academics there. Look, you can expect some academic argumentativeness, but just smile and nod, and don't get too involved in anything. Just
sure. The situation's tight enough as it is.
Yeah.
There's no need for. Yeah. Well, I think I will go and learn something about a shared history, and yeah, that's gonna be interesting. I would have probably volunteered myself anyway.
Yeah, I'm a bit jealous, actually, going up to Oxford, drinking a lot of fancy wine in fancy colleges, and it's a bit of a nice jolly, actually.
Yeah, it's gonna be a relaxing couple of days away, I assume.
Yeah.
We'll see each other next week.
On your return.
Well, I'm gonna go grab my stuff and make my way to the
train station?
To the train station, because why wait?
So as Johann is heading to the train station and beginning to make his way up to Oxford, we shift northwards to Oxford itself, where evening is falling on the city, and members of the London Esoteric Society and their new acquaintance, the librarian John Greaves, are... Well, what are you doing? Do you have any plans for this evening to further your investigations?
Well, it appears that Oxford isn't quite as welcoming as I had hoped. Do we know how long Mr. Dr. Dale's disappearance will go without people asking too many questions?
They are starting to ask questions, but he goes on leaves from time to time. It could be easily covered.
Oh, that's good.
How long has he been missing as well? Only a few days?
Let's see, it was 4 days before I came down to the Esoteric Society.
So probably about 5.
Yeah.
Or less. I'm hoping he's okay. I'm trying to think how we can sort this out. I don't think it's that dining club. I do believe it's probably a former member of the dining club. I think they are involved with things they shouldn't be. But I find it a bit of a coincidence. We're missing Mr. Greaves, you won't be aware of this, but Sir John Wallace, who is the founder of the London Esoteric Society, seems he was a former member of this dining club during his time in Oxford. And we've recently noticed a number of his journals, his handwritten journals, have gone missing from his library, all due about his time at Oxford. So it could all be tied in with that and the fact that Dr. Dale vanished with basically an old book from the same sort of time period and tied in with the same society. It looks like someone's trying to get all their works together. But the question will be who. I don't know who could be connected to it, who from the club of that time period would still be around here.
Is there a record of former students and their current living arrangements? I mean, could start going through current addresses to see who's still around.
It's possible, but I think it would take a lot of work, and it's getting on in the evening. We probably wouldn't be able to get that info.
There wouldn't really be a formal record of that sort of info. You'd be having to chase down sort of leads of who knows who and who's still in touch with whom. There isn't.
They don't keep a record of the students after they've left, unless they're doing something well-known or famous, in which case they'd be quite proud of them and tell everyone about the former students.
Yeah, they keep up with a lot of their previous alumni, but it's more of a, keeping up to date with the ones that are doing impressive things than knowing
they
their
don't
home
keep
addresses.
track of everyone.
Yeah.
I was just about to ask if there was like an alumni association that would have existed at the time.
I don't know if it's a formal alumni association, but very much, the old boys network of
Bagsy's
who went to Oxford.
often.
There does seem to tie in with that. We've got a few different ways we can try and encourage that creature to appear, or we could try and summon it ourselves, which is probably a bad idea. But if we could summon the particular one, we might be able to use it to return everything it's taken, the journals, the book, Dr. Dale, and anything else. But the problem will be whether Dr. Dale's still alive. The other thing is we can do is potentially use it to bring back the person who's controlling it instead and ask him the questions. But summoning these sort of things is never a good idea.
Well, from when I did summon it, unless it was something to do with this specific book as an artifact itself, all I did was read on the first page the name of the society, in Vino Veritas.
I think it was probably keeping an eye on things, and it was sent after the book, and Dr. Dale happened to be there, so it took both. Because I don't think it's the same thing that's taken books from the library, well, the Sir John's journals, because I don't recall any burn marks on the mats at the society. I think someone would have told me about that. Admittedly, there are strange things that happen there which can get overlooked, but I think I would have been told about that. There would have been some grumbling of the servants noticing burn holes in the carpets.
Well, if it's going to appear, I imagine it will do so to one of us soon enough. We were not exactly subtle today.
True.
I would recommend perhaps we stay separately but near one another tonight.
I think it'd be best to stay in the same room as a precaution. I mean, I suspect it'll happen. I don't think it'll happen in the late hours. I suspect it'll happen a similar time. The first disappearance. Dr. Dale, what time did he vanish? It would have been early evening, wouldn't it?
I believe so, yeah.
So is the plan just to retire for the evening and see what happens?
Have you all arranged a place to stop, or
we're stopping at the Mitra Hotel, I believe, or Mitra Hotel. Unless,
I mean, you're welcome to stay in my flat.
Hmm. That might be a better idea, to keep an eye on you to make sure nothing happens to you as well.
Oh, that'd be appreciated. There's plenty of room. Not that it's a huge flat, but there's plenty of room.
What do you think, Mr. D'Angelo? Oh, Mr. Williams, sorry.
Well, if we can limit how many other people will be involved, I think that would be for the best ultimately. So it's fine with me.
I will be tied. Stay in my rooms at the hotel. There's Elsie.
Yes. Right, well, shall we depart?
Okay.
Sounds a plan.
So as you're heading over to John's flat for the evening.
I believe so.
As you're
It is
heading
on
over,
campus.
heading over to John's housing on campus, Johann's train pulls in at Oxford, and the porter hands his bags down.
Thank you.
Are you staying in college accommodation or a hotel?
I think I would be staying in a hotel.
And yeah, you make your way over to, well, there's a very fine hotel around the corner, the Mitre Hotel. And
Yeah, well, let's go over and check in then.
you go over, check in, get your rooms. And I'd like you to make me a spot hidden, please, as you're making your way up to your rooms for that evening.
Oh, wait, where am I here? Oh, well, that's a fail.
You don't see anything in particular.
I'm gonna go up and I'm gonna inform myself how long I have to. I still have until the happenings.
That'll be tomorrow. The lecture is tomorrow.
The lecture's tomorrow.
Yes,
So
not this evening.
I think I'll find me a cafe to just sit down and drink a coffee at.
Ooh, coffee in the evening.
Why not? Or maybe a little bar. Who knows? I'll find a place to spend some time.
Take a drink. As the others, you head over to John's rooms, and yeah, is there anything planned that evening, or just getting an early night and a good night's rest?
D'Angelo will be refreshing just rereading the notes he wrote on the Starwalker before.
Okay. Unless there's anything else. Night. Yes.
I would offer the gentleman. I have a selection of ports, if anyone would like some before turning in.
Sounds good. Do you happen to have a firearms by any chance?
I do.
It may be a good idea to have it ready just in case.
Yes. Night draws in. You've got your port and a gun. What can possibly go wrong? Darkness falls over the city. One by one, unless you're planning on staying awake all night, one by one, sleep claims you. Until Johann, you're awoken by a sudden sound in your hotel room. You hear a crash of something falling over and a scream from the room next door.
I'm gonna get up, grab probably the rapier, but just open the door and look outside. What happened? And just ask, like.
The corridor is empty and dark.
Right. What sort of scream was that?
It sounded, maybe a listen roll for what your scream hearing qualities are. It sounded terrified, and it sounded like a woman. And it sounded very nearby, perhaps just through one wall.
All right. So it's the room next door.
Yes.
I'm gonna go over, try to in my in my nightgown, Perfect attire to enter a woman's chambers. Great. I'm gonna open the door. Is the door open?
The door is locked.
I'm gonna yank my rapier in and try to break the door open.
I'm gonna say, give me a strength roll here to try and break down the door.
Oh, come on.
Alma hits the door. You trying to jam your rapier in, trying to get this door unlocked. So far, no luck.
Is everything all right in there? And keep trying.
Give me a roll. There's no answer comes. You hear a muffled voice from sort of farther down the corridor. It seems that most of the nearby rooms were empty, but someone's peering out a door further down. Should give me another strength roll.
Right. What a waste.
You burst through the door into the room. You can see it is a hotel room similar to the one you were staying in. The bed is still made up. It looks like whoever was in this room hadn't gone to sleep yet. There are various papers and things scattered out on the desk. The chair has been knocked over. There is still a candle burning on the desk, but there is nobody in here.
The window is closed, I assume?
The window is closed, yes.
Is it... and there was somebody in the door peeking out.
Further down the corridor.
Yeah, I'm gonna poke out the room.
You see a man in like a nightcap and a nightgown, like
go get the stuff. Go get the stuff. What? Something happened. I don't know.
Oh right. Yes.
He hurries off downstairs. Back in. And check the window if it's openable.
It's a sash. It can be pulled up. Yes.
Yeah. So it's not like locked or anything.
There's a little latch on the inside, but it's not incredibly secure.
But that latch was closed.
Yes, it was closed.
All right. So the one thought that Johann has is, oh no, again. Mainly like, this is not normal. There was clearly a woman in here that screamed, and she left within seconds without opening the window. I'm gonna go and check I'm not touching anything, but I'm gonna go and check the various papers, the way they've fallen.
Leaning over, the papers sort of laid out on the desk. It seems that this woman was writing notes. There are a stack of papers. There are some watercolor paints to one side, some brushes lying drying, and it appears to be almost a notebook or diary. There's a watercolor sketch of the outside of an Oxford college, and
do I recognize
the handwriting?
The handwriting or the watercolors, or
you recognize the handwriting, and looking around, you recognize. So your eye goes to this handwriting, and your eye goes. There's a familiar cloak hanging on the pegs near the door.
All right.
This is Elsie's room. Or at least these are Elsie's belongings.
These are certainly Elsie's belongings, and she's not here.
She's not here.
Okay, if Elsie's here, the others are also here.
You hear voices drawing closer. I don't know, I thought I heard a scream, and then I heard a crash, and then, the German fellow sent me downstairs to get you. You see the hotel manager. Sort of...
Yeah, I'm gonna go and turn around. The lady that was in here, I heard a scream next door, and she's not in here.
You mean, where's she gone?
I don't know. She wasn't in here. The door was locked. The latch was closed. She didn't even have a minute of time. Whatever was, I don't know. The candle's still lit. There's all this stuff around.
Call the police. Seems
Yeah.
we've got a missing woman on our hands. It's a Miss Smith.
Miss Smith. Oh, great. She couldn't have had like a more rare name. Would have been easier to find. Oh, man. How's it? It's fine.
Yeah, the police will want you to stick around to make a statement to see if you heard anything, saw anything.
Yeah. Were there others with her, or is she traveling alone?
She had some friends staying with her, but they never came back this evening. And he points to some of the doors up and down the hall.
All right, these.
Just her.
It's just her. I mean, maybe we should tell the officers that as well.
Yes. Yes, they will. Maybe if they disappeared first. Very strange.
Wait. There's more people disappearing? Did I hear?
Oh no, I was saying that the other guests on this floor they never came back this evening.
Oh yeah. I was like thinking that was a recurring occurrence or something.
No, this is definitely not a regular occurrence. Sergeant said. Yeah, a policeman sort of wanders over and starts sort of running through the events of what happened, jotting them down in his little notebook, nodding along.
Yeah, I'll just stick to exactly what I heard, what I saw. I'll leave everything the way it is. Before the policeman arrives, and that's this guy, right? Are there any obviously problematic writings that I might need to swipe before anybody sees them?
Let's see. I mean, there's whatever's in Elsie's collections of watercolours, which I think is mostly innocuous landscapes and pictures of things. But there do look to be a few of her own notes and things. You see a brief mention of something Star Walker, something about a librarian called John Greaves and a disappearing doctor and a Star Walker. It seems that there was an investigation underway.
Yeah, I will just start picking the stuff up that fell to the ground and stacking it back on the just to keep busy. And I'm not good at stealing stuff, and there's people seeing me right now. I'm just gonna leave it. I'm gonna leave it there. They'll assume it's just like somebody writing stuff.
Okay.
It's gonna be fine, right? John Greaves. Okay.
So it takes some time for sort of the police to go through everything with you, with the hotel manager, sort of checking the window, peering down into the alley outside. Right? Well, she can't climb down there, is it?
Yeah.
Very bizarre.
She didn't even have like a. I was up. I mean, you see, it didn't even change.
The window was definitely closed when you got there.
Yes, the latch is still down. I didn't even touch it.
Well, I will take what I've got so far over to the station, and we may have to come back to ask you further questions if we think of anything. But
yeah, that's no problem whatsoever. I have to be at the lecture on the. I would give them the dates.
Yes.
Where I'm at from when to when.
We'll be in touch if we need to be. But
yeah, if they can't get a hold of me, I'll be back here the evening.
Yes. Well, the hotel manager, who has been also questioned to a great degree, peers around and goes, "Would you be wanting a different room, or is?"
That's fine. It's fine.
Don't worry about the door.
Yeah, I mean, there was just that choice, right?
Poor woman.
I would I would still, assuming what a lock costs, I would probably, yeah, not probably when I'm leaving, I would probably pay for the lock as well. I broke it.
Meanwhile,
This
yes.
John Greaves guy, is that's the name that she wrote in one of the notes. Is that one that you know? Is that a local?
John Greaves. That's not really ringing a bell. It's not one of my guests.
I mean, could have been possible.
No, it doesn't sound familiar to me. But there's a lot of people in Oxford, and I don't know all their names.
Yeah. I mean,
perhaps if you've got any idea where he works, then maybe they might be able to point you in the right direction.
Yeah. I'll find out. Maybe. Oh, maybe not. Maybe the police will find out.
Well, good night, sir.
Well, good night. Yeah. I'm not sure if I'll be able to sleep this evening.
Night, sir.
Yeah, and I'll head to bed again.
Meanwhile, across town, the rest of you get a wonderfully peaceful night's sleep, undisturbed by any trouble or apparitions. Morning comes, all is well. What are your plans for the day?
Well, we should find Miss Smith, and then I suppose we can do another circuit around the university, see if our previous questioning has pried anything loose.
Probably a good idea to return to the hotel, at least to get a change of clothes.
Yes.
I mean, at least the night passed peacefully. Perhaps we were wrong about that thing turning up and taking one of us. Or trying to.
Perhaps. I'm a bit concerned it may not have wanted to appear between so many people.
Perhaps. I'm curious, though. Where does it take the people? But
It's still in this world. But
there is that. But yes, let's, I suppose, just return to the hotel, check on Miss Smith, change her clothes, and continue our investigations. And, I'm still not sure who it could be.
well then, more in time.
Okay, so you're heading to the hotel to get a change of clothes. John, what are you doing? Where are you headed?
Well, let's see. This is a weekday, is it not?
I believe so.
We'll have to at least go in and check in at the library to see if anything's come up. So I have to go to my office, and I make plans to meet up with the other gentleman at some point.
Okay. Yep. So you're headed into the library. As the others are making their way to the hotel, you're making the way to the library. John, you run into a familiar face, Dr. Hughes from the history department. Ah, John,
Oh.
just the fellow I've been looking for. You've
Oh,
not
really?
seen Dale anywhere around you, Dr. Dale?
No, I have not for some time. Few days. Mhm.
I went to his rooms yesterday. He was meant to be giving an introduction at today's lecture, and he's not there. I knew you're friends with him. I didn't know if is he
yeah.
out of town? Is he?
We didn't. I mean, I saw him a few nights ago. He didn't. Well, he went somewhere, I suppose. He didn't really say.
He just left. Is he all right? Is his family all right?
That's the odd thing. He didn't say. It's kind of unusual for him. I really don't know where he is.
Well, I'll have to get Peterhouse to give the introduction, and he goes on forever. Well, anyway, thanks. And if you do see Dale,
Mhm.
tell him I'm looking for him, and also that next time a note would be appreciated.
Oh, yeah. Understood. Sure.
Okay. He wanders on his way. Johann, you awake for the next morning.
Assume the lecture is in the evening.
Afternoon, yes.
Yeah, afternoon. So I'll probably have some time trying to find out who this Greaves guy is. And probably, I mean, if you're going to Oxford, if Elsie's going to Oxford, and if the others are there but didn't show up again, we're probably correct in the assumption that it's something with the university.
So, are you an early riser? Are you heading down early, or are you getting a bit of a lie-in to make up for last night's lost sleep?
I think normally I would probably be an early riser, but I think considering the circumstances, I would just sleep in a little, like 10 a.m.
Yeah. So you're still in your room when you hear, musing through what you plan to do today, thinking about your options. When you hear familiar voices outside in the hall, as D'Angelo and Mortimer sort of returning to get a change of clothes, pass by. Well, what you don't know is Johann's door.
I'm gonna just get up, dress myself, and then open the door. Mr. Davenport.
Ah, good morning. What brings you to Oxford?
Oh, there's a lecture that I'm supposed to attend to, show some,
Yes, formalities.
formalities, exactly.
Been diplomatic.
Yeah, I already knew that you guys were here. I heard a scream yesterday evening,
It wasn't me.
and a female scream, and I broke the door down and found my Miss Smith's collars and her notes all scattered around, and she not in her room.
I'm assuming we're just outside the door now. We can see it's been broken in.
You can see that the door, like the lock looks like it's been broken. The door has been closed since last night, yes.
Yes, we had been asked by Mr. John Greaves from the library to investigate a disappearance of a friend of his, Dr. Dale, had vanished under unusual circumstances. So we were investigating. Here we are. Well, as you understand, these are strange things that happen here. I'll just try and open the door a little bit to see. I'm basically looking for footprints, the burn marks on the floor.
Yeah, the door is
It's
not
D'Angelo's
locked.
looking for that.
Yeah, because it is broken open. If you push the door open, you can see an empty room without Elsie. The chair's been stood back up again. The desk has been tidied up. And looking down, you can see 2 singed marks on the floorboards.
Yes, it looks like it's the same thing happened with Dr. Dale. These burn marks here are footprints of the creature that took him. It looks like it's the same thing that took her.
And at this point, I'd like you all to give me a sanity check, please. Because Elsie is missing.
Let's see.
Wonder.
Johann, you lose 1 point of sanity. It's just,
Yes, a fumble.
You all lose 1 point of sanity, yes. You realise, an unknown alien creature has snatched Elsie. She is not here. There are burn marks on the floor. And she is just gone.
Mr. Lieutenant Woodick,
fear.
And so
what exactly did you hear last night?
a scream. I heard Elsie scream, and I got up, and I got out the door in my nightgown with a rapier and broke open the door. It took me like two tries, and then it was open. There was nothing there anymore. It was just a short scream. The time it took for me to get around there, whatever it was gone.
I would like to look around for any signs of a message being sent. Specifically, like something that a person would do when they're in the middle of being attacked by something.
Make me a spot hidden check, please. You sort of hunting around.
I won't spend it.
No, nothing to be seen. No sign of any message. No trace. No hint of anything wrong, really, apart from those 2 burnt footprints on the ground.
Looks like whatever did this did not want to deal with a group of people.
Yes, and perhaps we should have this conversation somewhere more private, rather than affect what is basically a crime scene.
Have they removed her personal belongings already?
No, they're all still here.
In an unlocked... Okay.
I mean, it's inside a locked building, and also...
Yeah.
Then, it's not like they've got a body and they know that she's dead. She's just not there at the moment.
Sure. So I'm just gonna start going through her notes a bit and see if there's anything. We are, you two already know what she's written down, right?
It is essentially just some notes on what occurred yesterday and the day before with meeting Greaves and a few names, a few watercolours, a mention of the fact they'd been talking to a student called Aubrey Penhew, a fact that they'd found a list of names to do with this Veritas society, that John Greaves fell off a ladder. All very sort of...
Penhew, wasn't that the guy that we met in Bath?
Penhew, yes.
I think you met him in Bath, yes. I don't think the others did.
No, actually...
Oh no,
think...
Mortimer had, but didn't know his name. You met him properly when he arrived in London.
I saw him, but I didn't meet him.
Ah, I see. Well, let's go and get that in one of your rooms. We wouldn't want theft to be added on to the... We will find her again, right?
Oh, yes, definitely.
I was told to not make any trouble. And they sent me away, and I'm stumbling into you guys.
You should know better than holidays.
I just want to get my brain free for like a half second. Just keep grabbing stuff and putting it over.
But, yes, I should summarise what happened, more or less. We, as I said, have been looking into the disappearance of a Dr. Dale. It seems it links to a dining club, possibly, at the college here. We found a list of former members, which includes Sir John Wallace. And also, the Belfonts, one of them at least is named. A Mr. Walsh, which is a strange name. Remember on the trip to Iceland, Mrs. Walsh, I should say.
Yeah,
quite a few names that turned up in that seemed to be people we knew had dabbled in the occult. So it looks like this dining club, which is invitation only, may be dabbling in the occult. But these are just students, and they wouldn't necessarily know about Sir John's notes. Also, I don't believe Miss Smith met any of them.
all right.
So I don't know why they would target her, other than the fact that she was alone. The creature in question seemed to have been something involved with some disappearances a long time ago when Mr. Penny was a child at his family home. And it all revolves around a book much like these ones by the sound of it. We don't know where she's been taken. We're not sure who's taken it. I don't know whether I don't think it's the current members of this dining club. I suspect it's a former member, because how else would they know about Sir John Wallace's notes? Because the ones that are missing are due to it covering his time at Oxford.
Right.
And that is more or less where we reached. We suspected this creature, Starwalker, was going to take one of us, so we... Miss Smith wasn't feeling well, so she and Mr. McCrashley returned to the hotel. And we were concerned that it may go after Mr. John Greaves, and we stopped at his property, and, well, we had a peaceful night. Nothing happened. For us, at least. But one thing I will mention, then you mentioned how he'd been questioning the youths that make up this dining club about membership, because it's an invitation only. And he got asked a few strange questions, which led us to believe perhaps it is an occult society. He seemed to be interested in unusual things. But he mentioned afterwards he had a feeling of being watched. So I'm wondering if that creature or these people have somehow the means to watch over a distance. Which is probably how they realised Miss Smith was alone. But again, I don't know why they would pick her out, being that he hadn't met any of them.
If we go and look up for McCrashley, is McCrashley fine? Asleep?
He has left a note saying he's following up on a lead. He will be out of town for a couple of days, maybe.
Could have done with his help.
Yeah, would be useful right now.
A private investigator would be useful.
Well, at least we're glad we don't find another set of burning footprints right now.
True. I'm not sure whether it's heat or cold that's caused them. But yes, that's more or less where we are. We should really check on Mr. Greaves and inform him about Miss Smith's disappearance and decide what action we're going to take next. You're free to join us, of course, Mr. Zutan.
Yeah, I think I'll have to be at the lecture later on, but there's still time in the day.
Very true.
Okay.
I'm sure this won't take long.
So you're heading over to the Bodleian to find Mr. Greaves.
Probably a good place to meet up, to be fair.
It's a blustery, windy day as you make your way across Oxford over to the library. John Greaves is busy at work, stacking books and whatever else it is librarians do.
Well, you know, part of my duties involve looking after some of the books, not just library books, but the money that the library takes in from donors, and looking over some of the donors over the last, say, 20 years or so, see if any familiar names showed up.
Okay, you want to see if any of the names off that list were also donors to the library. Yep. This would either be an accountancy or a library use role. They will give different information. Your choice of which one you make.
Well, one's better than the other, but one did not perform so well the last time.
Check that no ladders are near you. The
Wow.
danger wasn't the library use, it was just ladders are very deadly in this game. Yeah, looking through the rolls, there's been a lot of donors to the Bodleian, but none of the names on your list seem to match up with any of the names that you're seeing in the donor rolls. And you're just sort of getting through a stack of reading through, trying to trace, like, is that a different Henry Smith or another? No, different person. When two of the gentlemen that you've been investigating with yesterday arrive, along with an unknown third gentleman. They arrive at the library.
Hello. Good to see you again.
Good morning. This is Mr. Zutanen. He's a diplomat from the German embassy in London. I think he was coming to Oxford for a talk, I believe, of some fashion.
Oh, I don't think I will be talking myself. I will just be in attendance to show some, presence from the embassy. Dr. Davenport and D'Angelo are old friends. We have dealt with a couple of things together.
There was another one of you I had met at the society.
Is there someplace more private we can talk?
Yes, come back. I have some reading rooms that very quiet, very private.
All right. D'Angelo will make sure that the door is firmly closed once they arrive. It appears that Miss Smith is missing. The exact details of her disappearance are still in question, but we did find more of the burned or scorch marks on the ground, so we believe it is done in conjunction with our current investigation.
Was she in possession of any books that she might have been investigating?
No, I don't believe she would have brought the books with her. She prefers to keep the society's books at the, society building where they're safe. After all, this was just a standard investigation, nothing to worry about. We did not think we would need to bring anything with us. I'm fairly certain she didn't bring anything like that with her. You haven't had a feeling of someone watching you or anything like that, Mr. Greaves? I don't think I've felt anything.
No, not that I would remember any.
Have any of your books here gone missing over the night? Any of your people gone missing?
Not that I've seen this morning so far. Keeper, did someone not show up for work today?
Everyone who should be at work today is at work today. As for the books, you'd have to do a full catalogue check to know.
Yeah, that would take quite some time. There are a few books here, as you can see.
One or two. I'm trying to think how we could possibly track down the person behind this. We've got an idea what the creature is, more or less. Something called a Star Walker. But who is summoning it and who is telling it to do stuff is the big question. And where are they taking the people?
Do I know stuff about a Star Walker?
Make me a Cthulhu Mythos roll if you would like. I don't think you've encountered one before.
Never mind.
You don't really know anything about it, Johann.
Should I not? No, I'm not.
I'm going to say it's probably not worth you spending a lot of luck because you've never met one. So
it's not going to happen.
You have will be sort of hearsay and conjecture.
Yeah, it's not been covered in any of the books I've read.
Well, we what sort of leads do we have? We have the that cafe, the diner,
the dining club.
Yeah, dining club.
The college.
Yeah, it's more of a group than a physical place.
Yeah, it's not really a meeting place.
Oh.
We have Mr. what's his name? Pinhue. He seemed to believe something bad was going to happen.
He felt himself being watched. It may be worth checking on him as well, ensure that he is okay.
Sounds like a plan.
Do we know where he'd
With
be at
that-
this time of day?
Hmm?
Do we know where he'd be at this time of day?
No, but we could try his accommodation. The porter there might have an idea.
Maybe.
Right.
But unless... I'm trying to think of how we could possibly find where Miss Carter... Not Miss Carter. Getting confused now. Miss Smith may have been taken.
Do any of you know any more odd means that would help us in this situation?
I wonder. We talked to the section head that this deals with the, well, for lack of a better word, just the occult. See if anyone's been looking lately.
Right. We could split up for this. It might make things look a little less suspicious if the 4 of us continue to visit Mr. Pinhue, but if 2 of us visit him to check on him, and 2 of us go to this occult shop, it may be faster.
It may be a good idea to see who, out of the dining club gentlemen we know of, if any of them have signed out any unusual books from the library.
Mm-hmm. That would be. I could certainly do that for you.
At least we might know which one of them has, the one who's been signing out the books. He might be the ringleader that we need to keep an eye on.
We might be able to find Penhu by just asking the secretary which lectures she's attending.
My skills are probably best here, helping at the library more than anything else, or speaking to the gentleman about the occult, or I don't know. What are our options? Who goes where?
Oh, Mr. Zutanen and myself could go and check in on this Pinhue fellow, and then I'll speak with this occult shop while you 2 go through the library.
That sounds like a plan. So, John and Mortimer are going to talk to whoever it is in the library who's in charge of something more occult section. See if any books have been signed out recently, if anyone's been taking any particular notice. Whilst Johann and D'Angelo are off to hunt down Penhue over at Corpus Christi. So, we'll begin heading over to Corpus Christi, then we'll come back to the library. So, you head off away from the Bodleian over to Corpus Christi College, where the porter here is happy to wave you through without signing you in. He doesn't believe in that overly bureaucratic nonsense of that fellow over at Merton. And how are you going about tracking down this errant student?
Well, is there an information?
There is a porter's office at the entrance to the college. You
I
keep
would
an eye on
go.
people going in and out.
I would go to that and quickly ask them where I would probably find information on a particular student that I'm looking for.
What sort of information is it you're after, sir?
I kind of need to meet him as soon as possible, and I would like to know in which courses he takes, so I might find him there.
Well, I can leave it. You can leave a message at the porter's office, and I can send him your way when he comes through. Or if you've got a name, I can.
Mr. Penhue.
Penhue. Oh, it's you again. He looks over to see D'Angelo. He's a popular fellow these days, Penhue. He has tutorial this morning with Dr. Hughes, and should be done any minute now. Hughes is yes. It's Hughes. Hughes's offices are just round the corner, so if you wait outside, you should be able to meet him then.
Perfect. Many thanks. And I would just give him a little tip and move towards that office.
And yeah, he points you down sort of across this like stone colonnade down the side of this building towards an office door. This solid oaken door with a little brass plaque that says Dr. Edmund Hughes, History.
Was that coincidentally the same guy that was
It is the same guy who's giving the lecture, yes.
Fascinating.
Don't
I
include
think
too
I
many
will let
names in
you
this,
take
I just confuse them.
I think I'll let you take the lead on this, Mr. Zatanen. You're a bit better with people than I am. And everyone here is not the most amicable.
They aren't? Where would that be? Did something happen?
No, but university students are not exactly, what's the word? Don't like when you ask too many questions, or at least not when I do. I thought maybe theirs or with me, but regardless, it would be better for someone with different skills to handle the conversations.
Well, everybody doing what they do best. All right.
So is your plan to knock on the door or to wait until Penhue leaves of his own accord?
I think waiting till he leaves is probably the more polite thing. We don't need to interrupt the lesson.
Okay. Time ticks by as you stand outside this office door. And we'll get back to the two of you in just a moment. Meanwhile, over at the library, John and Mortimer go over to, let's see, there's not really an occult section, specifically, but there is a section of the library with a Mr. Cuthbert Denell, who takes care of that section. Most people keep their distance from Cuthbert Denell because he's a little bit weird.
Yes, he is.
Scurrying around the library in like the evenings. He's possibly somewhere around 80. It's hard to be sure, but you swear he was somewhere around 80 when you started this job.
Right. So I'll flag him down. Hey,
Greaves there. What can I help you with?
you a bit of business. Have you had anyone asking about any of the occult books lately? So anyone just unusual might have just come in with?
Oh, no one unusual, just the usual regulars. Asking if I've got anything new in and asking to go peruse stuff and if stuff's back. But no. Most of the students just might as well all be invisible. So all this fashionable stuff like Egyptology and all that nonsense. Good old British history, the culture, mythology. I mean, there's some people in the classics department come by, but
Which students, actually, from the classics department? Are these some of your regulars?
oh yeah, I get regulars from history and classics. Let's see. There's that Weasley-faced guy, Matthew Carter. Then
Was there a Spencer?
the Spencer lad, yeah, he's always coming by. He's very around looking for stuff. That that boy from the classics department, he's always ever so polite. Penhue.
Ah.
Oh, and Bennett, of course. Bennett's been volunteering, helping me shelve some things, look through, repair some of the old books.
So, none of them gone missing lately, have they?
But the books?
Yeah.
The students. The students are all here.
Well, I mean,
Books,
either
the
one,
books, I mean,
actually.
they go missing, but they come back again. There's a system to it. It's why we're called a library.
Well, I mean, ones that go unusually missing, like you have no record of.
Well, I mean, I've got some that have been signed out for years that I've pretty much given up on at this point. I've got one copy of Witch Cults of Northern England that was signed out in 1829. I'm not sure I'm going to get that one back again anytime soon.
I can't imagine where that could be.
Well, if it ever turns up, I'd like it back.
Well, thank you for your time. I think we have the names we were looking for, more or less.
No.
Well, yes, I can tell you, oh no, I've got another one that was missing as well. No, that's, he's like flicking through his book. No, that's 1928, so no, again, not relevant.
What books are those? Would you be able to tell us what books those regulars of yours have signed out, if they still have any in their possession that you know of?
Oh, all sorts and everything. Let's see.
I
I mean,
think I'll take-
1829, obviously, he's not signed it out in the future. That was a slip of the tongue. You know, I often find that I go to say the word 18, and sometimes 19 slips out as a more obvious year. It's weird how this happens. What have I got out at the moment? Oh, lots of ghosts. All sorts of stuff about dreams. Yeah, I'll give you the list, and he gives you a list of randomly assorted titles of all sorts of occult topics. You see a couple of books in there by a certain D'Angelo Williams, and other topics that were around the subject and matter of anything occultish, essentially, that's been recently published.
Is that anything that seemed useful to you, Dr. Davenport?
Do any of the books stand out to me as unusually esoteric for this list?
None of them match any sort of mythos titles you have. These are just books of the occult.
Can I see from this list what books they currently have signed out?
These are the books that they currently have signed out.
Well, there's a lot of books they've signed out.
Yes. Seems to get a lot of reading done.
Seems to. It does seem as if they're very active readers. They've got a lot of books signed out at the same time, which...
Oh yes, they're awfully keen students, yes. I think Bennett has a book club of some sort. They get together and read through things.
Could be one of those strange dining clubs these young folks have.
Well, if they're reading books, then it's better than what half the other dining clubs are getting up to.
That's very true.
Did any of them come back stained with, say, wine stains or anything of the sort?
There was one that Spencer brought back. Yes, he'd spilled wine all over it. I had to ban him for an entire month. But he got his way back in our good graces. He offered to dust all the upper sections of the library. You remember, he was kicking around for a while. No? Maybe that was when you were on holiday. Anyway, yeah, we made him do a lot of dusting in the end. He earned his privileges back. He's never done it since. Never done it since.
Quick question, Keeper.
Yes?
Does he smell like a snake person?
Maybe a spot hidden check?
I'm just paranoid any old woman or person I come across.
There are no such things as old people in the Victorian age. They are actually all snakes.
Success. So, does he smell reptilian?
He smells of musty old books, dust, and maybe a hint of reptilian musk there as well. Maybe. You're not entirely sure if you're imagining it or not.
No.
It could be there. It could be there.
True, it could be. I'm just suspicious of the fact how old he is and how long he's been working here. But then again, who knows? It could be anywhere. Not that Mortimer's going slightly paranoid about snake people because he keeps sniffing them out.
Keep sniffing on people.
I mean, at the National History Museum, that expert on snakes happened to maybe a snake person or just smell a lot of snakes.
No,
but
he
anyway.
mostly sells in books. Like, you think, is that snake? And then you realise, no, it's just books and dust and... like,
What you'd expect. He smells like an old person.
Old person smell. Like,
Yes.
But,
Well, it does look as if we have the information we need anyway. Thank you for your time.
oh, thank you. It's always good to see a new face. Good to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Thanks for your time.
Okay. Meanwhile, back over at Corpus Christi, the door to Hughes's office opens and Penhugh steps out into the hallway. And are you standing sort of right by the door or some distance away?
I mean, like a little bit away, so he doesn't directly run into me,
Yeah.
but
Steps out the
like,
door, sort of closes the door behind him, sort of pauses to kind of like take a deep breath. And sort
hello, Mr. Penyu.
of, hello, have we? Kind of,
Yeah.
his eyes flick between you and D'Angelo.
We have met
We've met, yes.
in Bath. Me and Bath, I think, and Mr. D'Angelo.
Yesterday.
Yeah.
Sorry, I didn't expect to see you here. Perhaps he kind of waves us on you on further down the corridor.
Yeah.
Can I help you two with something?
I'm not sure in how far you were involved in the whole thing.
Involved in what?
I mean, there's this dining club.
As I
you've been
told
talking.
Mr. Williams yesterday, I'm not a member, unfortunately. They wouldn't let me in.
Has
Yeah.
anything unusual happened over the last 24 hours since we last part?
No, nothing. Since yesterday, no, nothing.
No. There's been another. How much did you tell the young man?
He understands the broad strokes, nothing too unusual.
All right.
He is aware of the missing people.
Yep. Miss Miller has been. Wait, when was Smith? How did I get to Miller? Miss Smith has vanished as well. I don't know. It's just like these standard names. They're just like
It's the German equivalent of Smith. It's just generic placeholder name.
yeah. It's just hello, Mr. Anderson. It's fine. Yes. Yeah. Miss Elsie Smith has been spirited away.
Spirited away?
I mean, like
What do you mean by that?
she's gone. She'd been in the room next to me, and she didn't leave, but she's gone. And that's the date I'm at. I don't know either. So we're trying to find out what's happening to the missing people. And that's why we're kind of a bit worried, because you had contact to these people.
I mean, I've spoken to them. You've spoken to them too. The society, if you mean, not the society, the dining club, the Veritas. If you, not you, your friend, Mr. Williams, said he'd spoken to them. I mean, they're just a bunch of drunken idiots who think they know more than they do, right? they're not going to just... They've not taken Elsie, right? I mean, Miss Smith.
We don't know.
I mean, there might be, the cover of being a bunch of drunk students is really good because they'll look away for a lot of idiocy. And if there's one that, knows a little more in between.
Perhaps. I mean, Bennett. I mean, Spencer is an idiot. That much is true. But Bennett and Carter, they might know more than they let on. I don't know. I was trying to find out what they knew following the list, but if you think that they've got Miss Smith, then shouldn't you be going to them and getting her back?
You see, we would need to know where we need to go. We need to know...
And a way to prove their involvement, of course. We were concerned that some things may have happened to you as well, but thankfully you seem to be healthy and hale.
Yes, I'm fine. Although this is all... I mean, if they're after you, aren't you all in danger then as well? What if it takes all of you?
We can take care of ourselves for the most part. Even Miss Smith should be able to take care of what may.
Right, I see. Well, is there anything I can do to help?
I'm sorry?
Is there anything I can do to help? Anything at all I can do to help you? Just point me in the right direction. Let me know what I need to do.
Is there anything you may have forgotten to mention yesterday?
I told you that I found the list. I found some of the names concerning. Told you. So I went to the society. I asked about membership. They said it's invitation only. I sort of pushed the matter. They asked me a bunch of weird questions about whether I believed in certain things, whether I'd seen certain things, and then they said I needed to, if I was really interested, I needed to prove it, and then, well, that's what Spencer said at least, and then Bennett hushed him down and said no. And that was the last I really heard before the end of term, and then I was down in Bath in London, and then we just got back up for term, and then Dr. Dale disappeared, and I was poking around his rooms trying to work out, where he'd gone, and then you lot turned up. And I don't think I've forgotten anything. At least nothing important, I don't think.
In that case, I would recommend you keep your head down, so to speak.
I can do that. I never want to, go around drawing attention to myself if I can help it anyway. Better stick in the background, not go around standing out. It's just the wrong kind of attention.
Right. If you recall anything, we will be staying at this hotel, and give him the name.
And you sure
You
there's
should
nothing
be
I
able
can
to
do
leave a
now?
message there for
Sure
us.
there's nowhere I can go, nowhere I can, seriously, if there's anything I can do to help you.
Yeah, I'm considering you could try to get us into... I mean, could you try to get us into contact with them again?
I can try.
Do you know where they meet?
I don't know where their formal meetings take place. I mean, they sometimes meet in college rooms, but not for, I guess, proper, dining club reasons. I could try and find out.
That would be helpful. What also would be helpful if you knew where they... Do they sleep in dorms?
Yeah, they have rooms in college, yes. So in each of the colleges has accommodation.
All right. So, do you know where the respective people have their dorm rooms?
Montgomery is Jesus College, Bennett is Exeter, and Carter is over at New College.
All right. So maybe we should just, take a peek at the accommodations. And try to find out stuff that way.
You can also find out if there's any time periods where the group is missing or gathered in one place consistently. That would be useful, but prioritize your own safety first.
Yeah.
Indeed. Well, please let me know if you find out anything. I only met Miss Carter, not Miss Carter. See, now you've got me doing it. Miss Smith a couple of times, but if she's missing, if someone's taken her, then that's. I just hope you manage to get her back safe.
Yeah, she's a friend. We will do our best.
Alright. Well, will you be at the event this afternoon?
Yeah. Oh, yes. I need to be there.
Okay.
I can't skip on that one.
I need to be there as well. Hughes will have my head if I miss his inaugural prize lecture, so I will see you there.
See you
in a
then.
couple of hours, but he heads on his way.
I'm feeling like we missed something.
Possibly, but I've got an idea. But for now, we should probably go and find the others. Maybe they've had more success.
Yeah. Might just be paranoia again.
Okay. As you head over to find the others, we are going to take a quick break there. You ponder your next steps of this mystery. I'll see you back in 10 minutes' time. And we are back. So, D'Angelo and Johann make their way back from meeting Aubrey Penhew, and as Mortimer and John are leaving the library, and the four of you convene together once more. It is approximately midday. You've got that's a bit past midday. You've got a couple of hours before Johann is supposed to be attending a very important lecture. None of the rest of you have any pressing ties on your time. Apart from John, is technically supposed to be at work, but he's a librarian at Oxford University in the 1890s. He can wander off from work and no one's going to be checking if he's clocking in.
Did you two find anything of note?
Just the same three students, their names cropped up as having a lot of unusual esoteric books. Not the dangerous ones we've been used to, but unusual ones at the very least. They seem to have a lot of them out at the moment, and it seems they've been doing it for quite some time.
Did the books have any themes to them, or are they all different?
All different. Some covered dreams, some covered witches. It's a very broad range of books.
Oh,
Yourself, any news? Is Mr. Penny okay?
Yeah, he's fine.
yes. He has
Um,
offered us any assistance he can, but at the moment it doesn't seem like there's much more that he can do that we don't already know. He has agreed to keep an eye on that group for us, but I seem to have been very careful so far, so...
Yeah. He'll be with me in the lecture later, so I can keep an eye on him there.
That's good. Mr. Greaves, how well do you know the local area?
Hmm.
You know Oxford well. You've lived here for years.
Just wondering about the cathedral. It's quite close to Corpus Christi College. I'm wondering whether there's any possible hiding places. We're considering possibilities of where someone could be hidden if they've abducted someone, and cathedral does seem to be on the edge of Oxford.
Well, we could go and look in the crypt. If you think that's where they might be.
I have no idea. I don't know Oxford well enough. Is there likely to be a crypt that people could access?
I mean, there's definitely a crypt that, people who are supposed to be there could access.
I'm just wondering if there's anything outside in the grounds that someone could hide.
I mean, there's a cathedral backs onto Merton Field and Christchurch Meadow that sort of reach down to the river.
Yeah.
As the... well, the River Thames, actually, is in fact the same river that flows through London.
It's true. The other option we got is we keep an eye on them, follow them, but I'd prefer to get ahead of them rather than follow them to where they go and try and find out where they're going before they get there. So we need to know where they meet up.
Mr. Penny was looking into that for us, I suppose, but unfortunately it's going to be difficult for us to get ahead. I do know a bit about dreams, so it may be possible for me to go back and do a little bit more research on that particular field to see if I can figure out what their intentions are and maybe follow that way, but that would also take time.
What do you know about dreams and what can be done with them?
A great many things. It is believed by some that dreams are connections to past lives or other sources of knowledge. Me and Mrs. Carter were of similar capabilities. There are things that can be found in dreams if you know how to look. It's all quite concerning, but I have delved into that particular world once or twice.
Unfortunately, the only problem with dreams is people have to be asleep.
Indeed.
I
It's not expedient.
was wondering whether we could have found something out via dreams, but everyone will be awake at this time of day. The other option is we approach one of the students and talk to them.
That sounds like the best idea, to be honest.
Which one do you feel is most likely to be helpful?
Well, on the one hand, if they take one, the one that is the least implicated, he's got the least to lose, right? But if we take the one that is the brain of the group and convince that one that he's in over his head, we might just shut this whole thing down right there.
The other thing is we could turn all three of them against each other and pretend that one of the others has told us something.
The problem with that is that might get problematic long term, though.
True.
It might be easier to speak with Mr. Spencer again. You, Mr. Zotanen, you seem to be in similar circles. The more affluent.
Oh, so they weren't taking you seriously because you're too cool?
Any advantage you can find at this point?
That's very true. You have diplomatic status as well.
True.
So that is an option whether you two wish to chat to Mr. Spencer and Mr. Greaves and myself can pursue another avenue if we can. I'm not sure. What do you think, Mr. Greaves? We check out the cathedral?
Yeah, it's good.
Simply because it's a large space, someone could be hidden. Unless there's somewhere else you would believe it might be possible to hide someone. An area of the colleges that is people don't tend to go, or there's unusual stories about
The
screams at night.
colleges
So.
are essentially vast and tangled mazes of buildings of varying ages, dating back. Some of the oldest buildings here are medieval. Some of these colleges, I think, were founded in about the year 900 and have grown slowly over time since then. There are buildings that don't quite join up right. There's like wonky floors. All these places are mazes. They've got undercrofts, they've got wine cellars, they have attics. You could possibly hide a small army there.
These things that took the people away, do they have any particular favorite locations that they would like to operate from?
Are you asking me?
Well, just in general. I mean,
Yeah. Sorry, I thought that was an in-character question. As in the dining clubs, where... Sorry, I missed the first part of the question.
Oh, I was just wondering, these creatures that have been or a creature that has been abducting people, does it have any particular favorite haunts?
You don't know?
That it... I mean, that's a question for the society, I suppose.
That sounds like a question for the society. Not a question for me.
But from what I understand, they can leave this world for other ones. I don't know if they have a preference or a set pathway they take. So it'll be difficult without more information.
They all seem to be associated with the fireplace, and then they leave their burn marks. Do you think it would be if we went to like the central furnaces and boiler, where we keep most of the fire? Whether that would be a place to look.
It's like a plan. I mean,
It's good an idea as any.
I mean, the burn marks might come from the creature, or it might just be whatever it is. It has some hot
So,
to it.
2 hours before the lecture now. Who's going where? You don't have to go anywhere. You could just wait till the lecture rolls around.
Well, I believe Zutanen and myself will go and find Mr. Spencer to see if we can get any new ground. Mortimer and Mr. Greaves, I believe you two could investigate either these locations for fire or cathedral or...
Sounds like a plan.
There's not a particular area of the college or of Oxford renowned for occult history.
Not particularly, no.
No, I was just thinking, because if anyone's going to have one of these secret society things, do one of these secret meetups, they'd probably choose somewhere of some sort of significance if they could.
A church, a cathedral.
Yeah, crypts and that sort of thing sounds the sort of thing. somewhere to check.
Sounds like you have stuff to check, and we go and try to grab the three. One of the Spencer.
Montgomery Spencer.
Okay.
Right.
So yes, you already know where Montgomery Spencer's rooms are, as you'd visited them briefly before. So you
Yeah,
can
let's.
head over to Jesus College. Where you make your way through the familiar porter's office, which is, you actually have a very nice watercolour of the outside of this building now, courtesy of Elsie. As you sign in and head through to where Mortimer's rooms are. Door is currently closed. You can hear someone on the other side seemingly humming away. Very tunelessly.
Knock knock.
Not now. Come back tomorrow. Doesn't need cleaning.
You could just come out, and I don't need to see that room.
Wait. You're not cleaning. Who are you?
Mr. Tsatanan, I have a couple of questions for you.
You hear footsteps and the door opens a crack and you see a young man, possibly like very early 20s, peers out at you.
Oh,
Who? Have we met?
I don't think so. It's just that you and your friends are,
Is D'Angelo there as well?
He is, but he is not in. So if he's only cracked the doorway, he wouldn't be able to see D'Angelo.
Okay.
it's that you and your friends are, involved in a couple of topics, that have had a couple of consequences.
Look, it's not my fault the boat sank, okay?
The boat sank, so there are more consequences.
Look, it got stuck on a tree branch and it sank. We paid them back for it.
That's not the sort of consequence I'm talking about.
Then is it about the broken window over at
No, it's the sort of occult consequences of people vanishing.
people?
You kids are playing with stuff that you don't
Who's
understand.
vanished?
Gale.
What, the history professor? I wonder why I didn't turn up to that lecture yesterday.
For example, there's been
Nice to have the
others.
afternoon off.
I need you to tell me.
Come in. I don't know what you're on about, but I'm not having this conversation standing in the corridor.
Well, I'll enter. And I'll look around in here.
It's a slightly untidy room. You can see, it literally looks like a bedsit room. It's got a desk, it's got a bed, it's got windows over. It's on the ground floor, so it's got windows overlooking like the courtyard garden, and a fire. Currently without a fire burning in it. Various books and paperwork out on the desk. Some clothes that have been like a couple of shirts that have been dropped on the floor and not picked up.
Looking around, do I see any signs of like mental instability? Like, are there like scribbles that don't seem to make any sense? Like a cork board with string going all over the
There's
place.
no corkboard and string. There's
no.
Actually, no, there is a corkboard and string. There's a corkboard with up on it. It's a bunch of lists of what appears to be essay topics and timetables pinned to this board. It looks like the work of sheer insanity or a student. In fact, actually pinned up there are a couple of notes. You see something about witches, and one of the books on the desk you can see is about Lancashire witch trials. Another is occult practices of Northern English witchcraft. another. You can just make out the third title is Local Cults of the Severn Valley.
With my knowledge of the occult, could I be able to tell if this is like normal curiosity of the occult, or is this like some serious, deep diving?
It looks like he's doing serious research into various occult topics.
So,
You were here yesterday, weren't you?
I was.
Yeah, when I had interrupted the party.
well,
You seem to be digging into. You have some questions about things. Gesture to the books.
Oh, yeah, that's for an essay.
you see, there are things pertaining to this world that we live in that don't take well to the laws of physics. And if you tinker with them, there's consequences.
Have you
And
had
you
too
and your
much to
friends-
drink?
Do I look like I have had too much to
You
drink?
sound like it.
Do I look like it? Do I smell like it? Not really, no, right?
No.
So, the situation is the following. There's been people going missing in closed rooms. There's been problems of the more insane variety. And
Is this
one
about Bennett's Dining Club?
one of your friends in your dining club is at the very least involved in the whole thing, because everything circles around that.
Wait.
And that's why I'm here and asking you.
You think Bennett's been kidnapping people?
I'm not sure if it's Bennett or if it's one of your other friends
Or
in there.
Carter? Or one of the others?
That's why I'm here talking
Why-
to you, trying to find out. Who of the ones would
We would
maybe.
kidnap someone? None of them would kidnap someone. They're just.
All right, you're right.
It's just a bit of fun, you know?
Who is the one that would try
Smoke
to
and
summon
shadows on the
something?
walls. That sort of thing. We've all tried to summon something. Come on, everyone's tried to summon something. If you're even in a cult, no one in the occult circle hasn't tried to summon something. It's like a cult. Look,
I actually did.
it's step number one. If you've not tried to summon something, then why are you even bothering?
Because the things that I might summon if I tried might end the world.
No, it's just, we tried to summon up Bennett's grandma. And,
How exactly did you attempt to summon this grandmother?
Table, candles, dark curtains. Have you never held a seance before?
I have learned many things, and if they are not done carefully, can have consequences. He will kind of reach through some of the books, and he'll find, I assume, one that he's written from the
Yes.
library. So, I'm sure you have been doing some reading. I would suggest you start
That's
with
a
this
good
one
that, yeah.
again. But no, I am the one who wrote it.
You wrote that, really?
I am.
Your writing is much more engaging than yourself.
I would recommend you be more careful.
I would recommend you, and he reaches over and plucks your book out your hand and sets it down on the desk. Don't just turn up at someone's room spouting a lot of nonsense and accusing their friends of kidnapping people.
Look,
There have been a few missing people, and we always seem to have your name. I imagine it won't be too long until other people begin to look into these coincidences.
Look, the dining club, it's a bunch of fun. We read books, we, light a few candles. It's about, just keeping an open mind to things out there, but it's
Could
not
you
wondering if it actually
describe-
ever does anything.
Could you describe the ritual for us that you did?
What, the seance?
The seance, exactly. Could you describe it as detailed as possible?
Okay, well, we took a table, we covered it in black fabric,
Yeah, and I'm just
closed all the
gonna.
curtains, we lit candles, we did the whole circle, are there any spirits here in the room?
All right.
Then I think Carter knocked his knee on the bottom of the table, made me jump out my skin at that point, and then I nearly knocked over the candle and set fire to the tablecloth, and we had to chuck the wine over it in order to, put the fire out, and that kind of put an end to the whole thing.
That actually seems like just normal occult stuff. He's not, it's not something. Does this sound like somebody hid an actual ritual in the seance, or is this actually normal stuff?
Who are you asking? Me?
Yeah, is this, if I'm looking at this?
You can make me an occult roll if you like.
Oh,
or
yeah,
or a psychology roll.
I'm just gonna turn over and ask D'Angelo that, because I'm not the one. I mean, I could give you mythos and hope that, because that's better than my occult.
Yeah, D'Angelo can give me an occult roll if you like, yeah.
Get Mr. Johann to help me with this?
No. This sounds like by the book seance gone wrong, just in terms of someone knocking something over. Doesn't sound like anything out of the ordinary world of the occult in terms of general occult belief.
When you finished your seance, did you end it, or did you just stop holding hands and walk away?
Well, at that point, we're busy, stamping on the tablecloth, and then, the porter turned up and shouted at us, and that was sort of the end of the whole thing.
Is there anyone that would have a vested interest in wanting to see you and your friends hurt or make you look bad, perhaps?
Look bad. No, I mean, people like me. I'm a likable person.
There's someone not like Bennett.
I mean, Bennett's he's got a stick rammed so far off his, anyway,
I understand.
but it's fun. Once you get a couple of glasses of wine in him, it's a fun chat, has some strange ideas. We all met in, one of Dr. Hughes's tutorials, and that's where, we came up, he was talking about his old days and old things, and then we came across this mention of this Veritas dining club. So we thought, let's revive the thing,
When you say you came across, did you find it, or did someone else tell you about it?
I think Bennett found it. He said it was like a list of old names, a list of just old tenants of the society, stuff like.
And this.
Well, it's secret. You're not actually supposed to
This
tell other
Dr.
people.
Hughes.
Oh, history. One of the history dons. He's the one that's got me, taps aboard, writing endless essays on Lancashire witches.
Is he aware of your? Is he aware of your attempt to contact your friend's grandmother?
I'm not going to tell a professor about that. They'll think I'm crazy. But what was I going to say? I've gone clean out my mind. Look. Is this what usually happens when someone holds a seance? You get I know who might. It's that little creep, isn't it? The Penhue, always sniding out oh, can I join your society? No, I don't want you to join our society. The Veritas Club, it's about fun, and he He is not fun.
Oh. You're taking this stuff too seriously?
Took it far too seriously. I asked him a bunch of questions about whether he'd experienced anything odd, and he started talking about how some man got kidnapped by a monster when he was a child. I'm like, that too weird. Too weird. And
You see, I think the problem that we currently have might be something like that. So, I guess
well, go talk
maybe
to
we
him
just weird
then.
people. Maybe we're just weird people. But that's good to hear.
I really don't think that's in question.
That's good to hear. Yeah. Be careful in what you stumble about, but otherwise, I guess you're fine.
Well,
Are there any scorch marks on the ground now that we've been in the room for a bit?
not that you can see, no.
There's also no footprints in the fire pit, right?
Not that you can see, no.
All right. Well, that was well, at least one off the list, I guess.
Where can we find your other friends at this time?
Time is it? Well, we'll probably be getting changed for this afternoon. So back in their rooms probably. He sort of gives you directions for where their rooms are for Matthew Carter and Daniel Bennett.
Well, thanks a lot, and we'll maybe see each other at the lecture today.
Yeah, probably. I have to go to it. I've still got to turn this in tomorrow, so if you gentlemen wouldn't mind leaving me, I've still got 500 words to write.
Good luck. And I'll leave the room and just, the guy does nothing.
And D'Angelo's leaving as well.
I'm just a crazy man. It's fine, right?
So,
Perhaps.
meanwhile... Oh, sorry.
So,
Meanwhile, Mortimer and John are searching Oxford for hiding places?
We're looking at places that someone might hide out at or hide someone. Essentially, somewhere little travelled, as I said, perhaps the cathedral grounds.
Make me a group look roll. You're going to need to be very lucky on this one, I think, to stumble across something.
Who's got the lowest luck? I'm at 64.
I'm 75.
That'll be my luck roll.
I'm at 57.
You're not in this group currently, luckily for them.
Oh, right.
Just a success. I can't spend luck on it.
You can't spend luck to make it luckier. No, searching around, you sort of visit the undercrofts of the cathedral. You have a wander around various meadows and churchyards, past various old colleges, and sort of high walls around impressive townhouses where various wealthier Oxford dons live. But you don't find any hidden missing people.
Well, it was worth a try.
It was, yeah.
Let's hope the others have had more luck.
In your line of work at the society, have you ever run into anything like this before?
Not this particular sort of thing. I have encountered unusual creatures, much like the one that you've encountered. I've encountered, actually several. The most recent, I believe, was seemed to be an invisible vampiric type creature on the Orient Express. But that's not a story to remember if I can help it. It's yes, we've met unusual creatures before. It just seems strange because from my experiences, usually you'd summon something for if someone summons something, it's summoned for a particular job. It'll be like a task. You give it a task. So more often, if we find the right person, it's unlikely this creature will be there with them. It's more likely they'll summon it to do something.
Do these things always perform their task as assigned, or?
I don't know enough about them to... There's so many different types. I mean, one I encountered on the Orient Express, I believe someone had summoned it to cause a distraction. Unfortunately, the type of creature in question wants to kill, and it decided it would be a good distraction to kill someone, rather than what they expected was perhaps some sound, disrupt things a little bit. So I think they probably have their own agendas and their own intelligences and things they want. They will follow it to the letter, but they may have their own agenda and try and twist things around to suit it. So you have to be very careful with how you word things with them, which is why it's always a better idea not to summon anything.
I can see the wisdom in that. But it does sound like you all are very well traveled.
We have been around a little bit. It doesn't help. A few of our friends have, vanished recently as a result of these investigations. But it's not the safest line of work, and probably should retire from it myself. But unfortunately, things like this sometimes happen, and someone has to deal with it. I mean, who else are you going to call?
I know of no one else like you, so running at sort of wit's end to think of any other place we could look. I wish we had some. If there was some more common elements between each of the disappearances. I mean, I haven't come up with anything, but I don't know of all of them.
It's whether the 3 students that we know of have properties in the area or likely to hang out at certain areas. I mean, if we could focus the search on areas near the particular college of either of them, I don't know whether that would help. So we know which colleges they're at, so it must be somewhere their ringleader can reach without too much problems.
Now it's coming up on 3 in the afternoon. Do you want to continue this search, or are you...
Probably best to meet up with everyone else.
Yes.
Rather than split the party too much.
Oh, splitting the party is fine. But yeah, you come together, D'Angelo and Johann having gone and spoken to Mortimer, and you two having... Not Mortimer. Montgomery. I told you it was one of those weeks. You reconvene together. You've not got long before Johann, at least, is supposed to be elsewhere. Got a few minutes or so before Johann's supposed to be off to schmooze.
Oh, I'll be on my happening, but I'll have to attend. You guys could. I mean, the other students are going to be there, so you can't really question them.
But we could check their rooms.
Yeah, that might be a useful thing.
So, did you find any information from Mr. Spencer that might be useful?
No, he doesn't know anything. It's just fun and games for them.
Does he think any of the others might be
He doesn't.
someone we need to look into?
Yeah, I think the other 2 are. I think they might potentially have something summoned on accident, and it just running around and trying to protect itself from being sent home.
Do you know anything about this Dr. Hughes, Mr. Greaves?
Dr. Hugh. Do I keep it?
Dr. Hughes is a member of the history department. He was the one you ran into this morning on the way to work.
Oh, right.
Yeah, he's worked at... He's been working at the college. He's been around for about 20 years, sort of working his way up from low level to where he is now as a senior senior history lecturer. Or, I think senior reader in history, is how they phrase it. And yeah, has a house just around the corner from Merton. He's not really that sociable fellow, unmarried, pleasant to talk to, but doesn't sort of go out of his way to make that many friends.
I know him a bit. He's not he doesn't socialize much with the other employees.
Do you know of any reason he would be interested in the occult by chance?
No, mostly his interest lies in history, really. I'm not really aware of any particular interest in the occult, at least none that he's mentioned. But he does. He doesn't seem to have any family or anything. So I mean, who knows what he does in his spare time?
I'm wondering whether he was a member of that society at some point as well. How old is this Mr. Hughes?
Early 40s, probably.
I was trying to wonder whether he'd fit the same age bracket as Sir John Wallace.
Quite a bit younger.
Yeah. You didn't notice any unusual burn marks in Spencer's room then?
No. Outside of a mild collection of occult-themed books, he seems to be usual. Not very bright or wise.
And the initial missing book we were after, there's no sign of that there, I'm guessing. Like an old, I suppose, brackety book which was more a collection of pages than anything else.
I didn't see it.
Well, if I was a student and I had an interest in the occult and I'd managed to get hold of said book, I'd probably keep it in my room. I wouldn't leave it at a ritual site or any strange location. I'd probably keep it in my room where I could study it at my leisure. So we'll have to perhaps check the rooms of the other two students whilst they're busy at a lecture.
Now that you mentioned that the binding of that book being more of a collection of pages, and I don't recall seeing anything about the author. It doesn't seem like it was something that, well, an academic would have put together.
Yeah, not a published book, perhaps an old student book. Perhaps it is collection notes some old student put together. It's a shame we don't know what name, but then again, they don't always name themselves. But I think that may be the best option during the lecture to try and check the rooms. So that would be a Matthew Carter and a Mr. Bennett.
Do we have descriptions of that too? Have you guys seen them?
Yeah, D'Angelo and John had seen them yesterday when they were in Montgomery's rooms.
I have seen them once. I would know them if I saw them again. But it looks like our best opportunity will be to wait for the event. And I don't assume you have access to the rooms here, Mr. Greaves?
I don't have access to the rooms, but I'm on passing acquaintance with all the porters. I can probably get us at least into the building.
Well, it seems like everything is pointing us towards looking into it when no one is around.
Yeah, we could always use the story that there's a book that was missing from the library. And we can, well, use the name of whichever student we're checking at the time as a suspect. Now we want to do this discreetly without making a fuss due to family connections that they may have. But yeah, are these rooms normally locked at these sites? Don't know. On the
Depends on
campus
whose
of
room it is and which college and how paranoid they are about people breaking in.
Mm. Oh well. I mean, nobody will see us.
Maybe I can find a quiet moment in maybe the break of the lesson to grab Bandit or the other one.
So yes, it is time for the big lecture event. It's held in the biggest hall of the college. Um, various people milling around outside. And is it just Johann that's going, and the rest of you?
Probably.
Mm. Unless D'Angelo wished to be with him, because at least he knows what the two look like to keep an eye on.
Yeah, D'Angelo will go to the talk as well.
Okay.
Sure that
He
Mr.
might not
Johann is not alone.
Yeah. That may be an idea. At least he knows what we look like, and to be fair, it's probably best not to be on our own.
Okay. And the plan is for the other two of you to go and break into some rooms.
Yeah, something like that. If only we had Franco with us.
Okay. So as you head off to break into some rooms, everyone else sort of files into the lecture theatre. You can see the front couple of rows have been reserved for VIP guests, including, of course, Mr. Zutanen from the German Embassy and various other university dignitaries. Further back in the hall, there is room for students. You see Montgomery and his two other fellow students sort of file and take a seat, and Montgomery sort of tapping the guy next to him on the shoulder and pointing forwards to the front, and then whispering something to the guy next to him. And he points towards Johann in the front row.
Okay. I will just wink over at them.
From where you are here, you can't hear what it is they're saying over the hum of conversation in the hall. As sort of the lecture room's almost full, you see Aubrey Penhue also slip into the room and look around. Where would D'Angelo be sitting? Is he near the front or near the back?
Near the back, so we could kind of watch the whole crowd if need be.
Okay. Penhue sort of slips into one of the seats near him and leans forward. Mr. Williams,
Yes?
I think I know where they're going to be tonight. There's going to be... Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the third annual Prince Albert Memorial History Lecture. As we're gathered here, and this old history don begins a very long introduction in the same sort of monotone voice as he makes it through. He's not the most engaging speaker, but he sort of starts to introduce today's main speaker, Dr. Hughes, who has been with the university for 20 years, taking over the teaching position from the late great Professor Lowe. He has made significant contributions to the field in the subject of Old English history, particularly that of the southwest of England, and on and on and on it goes. He's published a number of manuscripts in very interesting and prestigious journals, including being the editor of the British Historical Journal and also the London Historical Correspondent. Now, gentlemen, please would you welcome our lecturer, our guest speaker for today, Dr. Edmund Hughes. And this smartly dressed man with slightly sort of greying salt and pepper hair, smart suit, gets up to the lectern, sort of smooths down his notes, and begins his lecture. Meanwhile, elsewhere in Oxford, which of the rooms are you going to try and break into first?
Well, this Mr. Hughes, as well, the one doing the lecture, we're all going to attend, he would have properties on the campus, wouldn't he?
No, he lives off college grounds. He's got a house.
Okay.
Do we know where off campus?
John, you'd probably have his address, yes.
Just curious whether, effectively, he's using the students as a smoke screen and he's the actual one behind it. I'm just wondering, we'll have to find this missing book. So if we find it in one of the students' room, then mystery may be solved. But yes, which room first? I don't know these students that well. Have you met them all before?
I've seen them at various times, and I'm not very familiar with them, but I've seen them.
Who would you say was the most suspicious out of the pair of them?
Oh, Spencer, perhaps?
They've spoken to Spencer already, so it'd be Matthew Carter or Bennett. We'll have to pick one. It's
You have a coin.
50-50 chance. Which one the room's closest to us, which one would that be, Keeper?
Both about equal distance.
Oh.
They're all really near. This is
Yeah, okay.
So it's either New College or Exeter College.
Well, let's try Mr. Bennett.
Right, let's go.
Alphabetical order.
So heading over to Exeter College, where the porter is sat in his office. Ah, Greaves. Afternoon.
Hello. Afternoon. How are you?
Oh, you know, could be worse.
We have a bit of library business to attend to. Would you mind letting us in?
Yep, just sign the book.
All right.
What is it this time? Overdue books again?
Yes. That's the bane of my existence.
You should just stop lending to them.
We tried.
Save you a whole host of problems.
It would, but it didn't go over well.
Thank you. And you, sir?
Oh, Dr. Mortimer Davenport.
And yeah, who are you?
Who am I? I'm a friend of Mr. Greaves. Sorry.
Yes, he's an associate of mine.
Oh, you're just.
I'm an academic of sorts on regards to the library.
He's just visiting the university. He's
Looking for a job here?
Are there any?
Well, there's always openings. What's your subject?
Medicine, strange enough.
I see. But we don't really have many medical students
Oh well.
at Exeter, but I'm sure they're looking to expand some of the teaching school.
Perhaps at a later date, who knows?
Yeah. Well, on you going.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Okay, you make your way through the halls of Exeter College, passing by various students along the way, until you come to the upstairs corridor where Daniel Bennett's rooms are, and they're presented by a closed and firmly locked wooden door.
I'll knock, and I'll grab very firmly on the door.
No answer comes.
Is there anyone on the corridor?
exactly know.
Did we pass? Oh, go ahead.
Well, I hope this wasn't going to be a locked door. Unfortunately, I've never picked a locked door before, so the other options to force it, but that would make noise, unfortunately.
We didn't happen to pass any housekeeping stations where someone was working, did we?
So you pass the porter's office where they have these sort of, you can see a bunch of, sort of keys and things hung up behind the porter's desk. Other than that, you've not passed any like housekeeping at the moment.
Well, I mean, I can't exactly leave you here, but maybe we go back down and ask for the key.
We could definitely could try and pick the lock, but we don't want to risk it.
I mean, there doesn't seem to be anyone about, and you could try it. But I have no skill in that.
Much the same here. I mean, I'm sure I've probably got a sharp object I could try to pick a lock with.
You can always try.
A pin or something. Oh. That's rather close, actually.
You want to spend the 18 points of luck to make that into a success?
Yeah, I will. I will spend 18 points of luck to succeed on a lockpick roll from a skill of 1.
Yeah, you've watched people do it before, and
I mean,
it takes a bit fiddling around, but then there's a click, and the door is unlocked.
Wow, your skill is a lot better than you thought.
It's just like surgery. It's easy.
Okay.
What surgery is notably known for? Its ease.
Well, whilst no one's here, let's be quick.
All right, let's do. So we're going.
Okay. The rooms are much... Well, neither of you saw Montgomery Spencer's rooms, but they're much tidier than his rooms. The bed is neatly made. The desk is all tidy. There are some papers to one side, a stack of books on to the other, and more books on a shelf above the desk. There is a wardrobe in one corner, a hearth in the side of the room, and little in the way of that much personal direction. There's one decoration. There's one picture hanging up on the wall, which shows a country house surrounded by trees.
No people in the picture.
No information on it.
Does not appear to be now.
Does it look as if it could be somewhere in Oxford, more or less, or the area?
It looks to be a country house. So it doesn't look like it's in a city now.
No burn marks on the carpet, I'm guessing?
No burn marks on the carpet.
And
I'll have a look at the books to see if there's if the missing book is amongst them or anything strange like that.
any papers left out on the desk?
Journal, diary, that sort of thing?
Not a journal. It seems to be various research notes and a mostly finished essay on the subject of water cults and the subject of river worshippers and their history amongst seafaring cultures and riverine societies.
And if I did a quick scan of it, is there anything relating to the local area?
Yes, so as you scan through, there is some mention of... It actually seems to be focused mostly on the local area. It seems that after a brief sort of introduction, whoever's written this essay, presumably Bennett, has narrowed down on a history of worship involved with the River Thames and the mouth of the Thames, and how various societies have sort of worshipped, given offerings to the river, sort of from the Roman period all the way up to the modern day, talking about talks of East End dockside cults who still to this day throw offerings into the River Thames. And even that some in higher society have been known to perhaps dabble in this, according to sort of myth and like occult history rather than mainstream history. Talk of rumours and talk of powerful shipping families who've made offerings in order to gain benefit.
Mm-hmm. There's no diary or anything like that, or a journal, perhaps.
You can give me a spot hidden as you search around.
Let's see. Extreme success.
He does not seem to be the diary keeping sort. What you do find is a book. This leather-bound book. Properly bound, not roughly bound. John Reeves' book. And it doesn't have a title on the front, but as you open up the front page, there is a single phrase written on that front page. It says, "In Vino, Veritas."
Does this look familiar?
Yes, that is the phrase that I uttered just before the thing appeared and abducted.
This isn't the same book.
No, it's not the same book, though.
If I flick through a couple of pages, does it say a name? Does it appear to be, how could I put it, a named book effectively, or more handwritten journal?
As you open it up, as you flick the next page, is entitled "Laws and Codes of the Veritas Dining Club." The next few pages need to detail various rules surrounding the dining club. From beginning that rule number 1, you're not supposed to talk about the Veritas Dining Club.
Same as rule number 2.
Rule number 2, you don't talk about the Veritas Dining Club. And beyond that, rules about meetings shall only take place on Thursdays excepting under a full moon. You must always wear black shoes. There are an increasing number of arbitrary rules that members must abide by.
It looks like a genuine
it's all handwritten.
dining club book.
Yeah. And it's followed by a series of names signed in this book in various handwriting. This whole page of signatures. Well, several pages of signatures. Some of the ones that are ones on your list, there's probably more names there than were on the official list.
Is this something that we can effectively read through in the few minutes that we have, or is this going to take some time?
It's going to take more. As you beyond the page of names, it seems to go on with notes and occasions of various meetings of the Veritas Dining Club.
Just wondering now, the Mr. Hughes that's doing this talk, is his name signed in this book?
As you pore over the page,
I'm just looking at the names.
His name does not appear to be signed there.
Well, unfortunately, this isn't the book we were looking for. But
you would actually, as you're reading over the names, you notice that there are names in this book that were not on your list. There are names on the list that are not in this book. The first few names of your official list are not in this book. This book does not include the names Arthur Anthony Lowe, George Vane, John Wallace, Martin Cresswell, and Henry Blake.
That's interesting. The names doesn't match up with the list we have.
No, all the other picking through, you're picking out lots of the other names, but not those first 5 names.
It could be the older names are missing. And again, it could be in another copy of this book. But, now, looking at the estate, the picture there, That could be a possibility of where people are being held. I'm guessing there's no information here about what that place could be. House, a country estate?
It is a country estate. One of many scattered up and down the country. It's not one you visited previously.
If we looked on the back of the painting, is there anything written, nameplate or anything?
No, there's no nameplate on the back. The painting is signed. It's signed E. Bennett.
Well, doesn't seem to be the information we're looking for here. I'm curious. He has this book. It's not the same book that went missing. So this has been a bit of a false trail in that. Does seem to have some information here which he probably shouldn't have, but let's see. Perhaps we should check the other room.
All right, let's go.
I'll return this book to where it was taken from anyway, so it doesn't look as if we've lost the way in. But what I will do is, I'm assuming his essay is in a large number of pages, or...
Yes, it's a large number of pages, but it's a handwritten essay.
Has he numbered the pages?
Yes.
I'm just tempted to be difficult. I'm going to take a random page out.
Oh, that's just cruel. Take you like page number 3 of someone's essay.
No. It's not going to be page 3. It's going to be a random page somewhere. Actually, what the hell? I might shuffle them all.
Oh, that's just...
They're numbered anyway, but I
what
assume
kind of monster are you?
they're numbered in the corners, aren't they?
Yeah.
So I could just take all the corners off them.
Oh, you cruel man.
I'm not going to do that, but I'm thinking of doing it. I'll actually leave them exactly as we found them. I'm not evil, and I'd never deface a book. Although technically it's not a book. I feel it'd be too cruel. I have standards, and yes, taking all the numbers off the pages and shuffling them all would be just too cruel. It's tempting though. So yes, I think it's probably best we just leave this one as it is. Although I'm beginning to get suspicious of the gentleman who's doing the talk. I'm just wondering who would have, like, the picture there could be just the family estate. There has to be a place where people can be held, and that doctor has property just outside Oxford.
He does.
It's inside Oxford. It's just
It's
near the
inside.
college, yeah.
But like I said, he doesn't have family. He's there by himself.
So that would be a place. So he could be behind us and in a way setting up the students to make so it looks as if they're responsible. This does seem beyond something all students would do. So, well, let's leave and make a way to the other students' property. Bless you.
Bless you.
Sorry. Really hard talking between sneezes.
The books are very dusty. That's what it
They
is.
are. They must be.
Okay.
How many is that?
I don't know. Meanwhile, over at the lecture hall, the lecture rolls on. Oh, this is just getting annoying at this point. We've got to hit the mute button fast enough. The lecture rolls on towards its conclusion. And... no, Johann and D'Angelo, are you just sat silent through all of this?
Yes, D'Angelo will be listening to whatever Mr. Pinhew wanted to tell him, but he'd be observing the crowd.
Johann would be listening attentively and trying to find out whether the lecturer is a potential suspect, because there was a guy going missing when he got his job, and now another one of the professors missing, and there might be purpose for having the others take his fall, and he's been involved with the other three as well, I think, if I remember that correctly. So I'm trying to listen very closely to what he's saying there.
Okay, his lecture itself seems to mostly be an interesting, if non-occult related lecture on Anglo-Saxon history, and emphasizing sort of shared cultural ties between two nations as is sort of the subject and focus of this lecture series. And Penhue had fallen silent when the lecture began. He got as far as saying he knew something, and then had stopped as silence fell and the lecture began.
What is it, Mr. Pinhew?
The person in the seat next to you, D'Angelo, that turns around and gives you like an evil glare.
I just glare back.
They're having a meeting tonight. Odd sort of meeting. I think I heard one of them say that they're planning to take a boat out on the river down past Christchurch Meadow. I overheard Bennett talking because Montgomery's banned from taking boats out anymore, so it had to be him or Carter to get the boat and then borrow it for a whole night. So I don't know what they're doing, but it's down on the river tonight.
Looking around, do I see them at the dock?
Yes, there are a few rows in front.
All right.
He sits back in his seat as the lecture rolls.
Are they doing anything weird during the lecture?
They seem to be taking notes. Occasionally, you see one of them turns around to look in your direction, but you can't hear anything being said from this far away. Okay. As the lecture rolls on, Mortimer and John, you leave Exeter College and make your way over to New College. This grand, I think, more sort of Georgian building, if I'm remembering my colleges correctly. New by the history scale of Oxford colleges, is still not that new. As you make your way through the porter's office. This one seems less bothered about anyone coming and going. He just sort of waves you through. And make your way up to another college room door, also locked.
Well, you seem to have great luck the last time. Make it 2? Make it twice? Can't hear you.
This door is not budging. It's not giving way. You can't seem to figure out the knack with the lock. You can push this roll and try again, but if you fail, someone's probably going to catch you here trying to break into this room. Or I don't think you've got enough luck to pass that. Or you can try another alternative method to gain entry into this room.
Well, no luck this time.
You made it look so easy.
Must have been just luck. But I wonder if there's another way we could gain access. Would likely have keys to the room. The porter, I'm guessing.
The porter would indeed, yes.
Well,
Housekeeping wouldn't, would they?
Yeah, they would have keys as well, yes.
So, I think maybe best to try housekeeping. And we could say we're looking into a missing book from the library.
Yeah, we could.
Porter is more likely to ask questions. And if someone were to ask about us, they're more likely to ask the porter if he gave us the key. He wouldn't necessarily ask housekeeping.
That's true. All right. Did we see anyone?
Yeah, you can find. You didn't see anyone, but you can find your way down to the basements where housekeeping have their little corner. Can I help you, sir?
Oh, sorry. Myself or Mr. Greaves?
Oh, either of you, sir.
Oh, we were looking into a book that was missing from the library. We believe one of the students here may have it. We were wondering whether it'd be possible to gain access to the room for a minute to check whether the book is there.
Give me a persuasion roll, please.
Persuade or charm?
This is persuade. This is a reasonable persuading argument.
Dreadful at persuasion. Nope.
You better wait till the student comes back. This is not something we usually just go around handing out keys for.
Understood, but this is rather urgent, and I'll pull out my college ID to show her that I am in fact a library staff.
Well, as I said, you can push this roll if you would like. So essentially, this is giving it another persuasion roll. In this case, from either John or Mortimer. If you fail this roll, it's likely to have consequences in terms of drawing more attention to your search and perhaps the wrong kind of attention.
Yeah, I'm not going to push my roll.
Okay. Well then, let's go back. I'll talk to the porter and see if I can borrow the key.
Maybe best.
You head up from housekeeping and over to the porter's office. 33 across.
Hey, blood. Gonna bother you for a sec.
Yes. Do you know mythological figure, many gifts? It's 33 across. P something A. Never mind. What was it I could help you with?
Well, Keeper, do you want us to roll to see if we know the answer to that?
No, it's not.
It won't make any sense.
I said, if you really want to roll me a history or mythology check, you can, or a Latin. No, this is Greek.
I could do Latin.
No, this isn't Latin, but you can do. I'll give you a hint, but otherwise,
no, it's okay.
It's not particularly relevant. Yeah. What can I help you with?
I pull out my ID again. Just have a matter of a book that's gone missing at the library. I just was hoping to get in contact with the student to see if we can get him to return it.
Okay. Give me a persuasion roll here, as you. Yeah, I can take a message and I can tell him to head over to the library as soon as he returns to college grounds. Not a problem.
All right, and I'll just give him my name.
Yep, I will. Which student was it again?
Yeah, this was. I forget.
Matthew Carter.
Oh, okay.
Excellent. I will send him over to the library as soon as he returns.
Thank you very much.
Good day.
Oh well.
Well, that didn't work.
No, not this time. Oh well. I think there's. How long is left of this lecture? I'm assuming it's
probably finishing now.
We should probably make our way and meet up with the others and see what our next course of action could be.
Okay.
Whether we look into this Mr. Hughes or the students further.
Okay, so as the lecture draws to its close, there's a bravo, hurrah, clapping fills the auditorium. People start to file out their seats, and the guest speaker, the star of the occasion, makes his way over towards the VIP row at the front. At the back, Aubrey leans over to whisper to D'Angelo, I've got to go now, but if you find anything else, if you find Elsie, you know where my rooms are. You can leave a message with the porter.
Of course.
This
Meanwhile,
professor, is he coming down to talk with the
yes,
VIP?
yeah. Dr. Hughes is coming down to speak with and like the dean of the college and various other dignitaries are around. Hands are being shaken. Solemn nods are being nodded. Yes. Good talk. Yes, good job, chap.
Yeah.
Nice to meet you.
Was there a part of the lecture about like religious aspects and stuff like that? Potentially.
Yes, there can be.
Yeah.
Right.
Because I would, strike up a conversation a bit about my limited knowledge of the subject, trying to get like a little bit into the topic of the mythology that was how big of a deal that might be, and I would drop the name Starwalker during that and try to discern if he reacts to it.
Okay, give me a psychology roll as he's going. Yes, I mean our shared mythological and cultural identity is important. You've got,
That'd be a hard
Beowulf and
success.
Siegfried. It's all one. It's all one mythology. The idea of there being two separate Anglo-German, and then as you mention the Starwalker, you see a kind of look of puzzlement cross over his face. His brows furrow, and then a little twitch of a smile at the corner of his mouth for a moment. Just a little like.
Yeah, I was hearing that from somebody, and I was not really sure whether it actually belonged in here. And
no, that's not really fitty, I'd say. With that's more very new thinking stuff.
Giant red alert.
You must be the fellow from London, from the German embassy, correct? Glad you could make it. Glad you could make it.
Yeah, it's been a very interesting lesson, certainly.
Oh, it's less of a lesson and more of an insight into our shared cultural understandings, and if there ever should be two nations aligned on the historical lines, then
yeah,
we share.
There's a lot.
Family essentially.
Isn't nobility family anyway?
Well, yes, they definitely, yes. Well, as I said, our Her Majesty, her family, German in origin originally, but and of course, late Prince Albert.
Yeah. And then I would keep leading the conversation back to like normal history stuff, and maybe a bit about modern situation and how much the Kaiser loves the Royal Navy and stuff like that.
Yeah, give me a charm roll as this is going on. Let's see how charming you're being. The schmoozing.
I mean,
Successful schmoozing.
decent.
Decent.
Not
I
my
mean,
best.
not your finest, not your finest work, but passably good. But yeah, he shakes your hand one last time and takes his leave to talk to one of the others. You see D'Angelo further back in the lecture hall. Unless there's anything else you want to ask Dr. Hughes, or any other topics you want to introduce, he is taking his leave.
I mean, if he's taking his leave, I would go towards D'Angelo and be like, he knows what a Star Walker is. So
It appears that students are going to be going on a boat ride soon tonight.
seems like we don't have the time to,
We should find the others and quickly. Miss Smith may be limited on time as it is.
Yeah. Let's go and find the others.
Okay, so you reconvene with the others, failing their failed attempt to gain entry into New College, or at least into rooms at New College.
Well, we managed to check one of the rooms. We found a book relating to this dining club with, basically there seemed to be a genuine rule book, an old book one of them had found to do with this dining club. It seemed to be a lot of formalities about the correct type of shoes to wear, correct ties and that sort of thing. It did seem to have a genuine interest in the occult. He had written an essay on water cults, which seemed fairly accurate, although unusual topic. But nothing out of the ordinary was found there.
Yeah, no, they're the false flag. They're the red herring. It's
Scapegoats.
yeah. He knew what a Star Walker is.
Who did?
When the doctor had finished his lecture, I just asked about a bit of mythology and dropped the name Star Walker, and he had a good control over his face, but he was smiling.
Yeah, I've not myself, other than recently, I've never heard of this Star Walker thing, so that's definitely suspicious. So it looks like he could be the one. He's likely to have a property which is probably rather isolated from anyone else, really. His own property, no one else there. Could be somewhere he could hold people captive. And whether he ties them with the first disappearances, I don't know.
According to Mr. Pinhue, they are going to be going on a boat ride soon.
Really?
Which I find odd. Mr. Pinhue did not know that I would be at the speech tonight, so I'm not sure why he would go there to look for us, but
Did he say?
I would be a bit hesitant.
Did he say where they were going on the boat ride?
No, not anywhere specific.
Because we were looking at Bennett's paper. He went into details about some riverine cults, and the ones that just south of Christchurch Meadow, or on the river.
We should definitely go and look into this soon. I'm worried that Miss Smith won't have much time for us to deliberate.
Would this Dr. Hughes, would his property be near Christchurch Meadow?
It's just next to Merton College, north of Merton Field, so down here. If you would look at your please attach map. For viewers at home, I'm indicating Merton College, which lies to the north of Merton Field, which lies to the north of Christchurch Meadow.
So, whether we check his property first, the problem will be whether he's there.
Evening
I'm
is
going to
drawing
go
in.
and I'm going to go and check on this boat ride.
I don't think we should be split party for that one. There's a lot that lurks in the Thames. Should not be alone there.
That's true. There's a lot of strange things we've seen relating to that river. So where do we go? I think the important thing is to, well, save Miss Smith, and also ideally it's Dr. Dale, hoping he's still alive, and any other captives they've taken over time. The question is, who has them? Is it likely to be this Dr. Hughes or these students?
I don't know. I don't think that the students are involved at all. I mean, a bit maybe, but not in...
Well, as evening is drawing in, down to the meadow, or over to Dr. Hughes's house, or elsewhere. What is your next destination?
I vote for the boat. My gut tells me that's where we'll find Miss Smith.
Unless anyone else speaks otherwise, I suppose the boat it is.
Or are we splitting
Or you can split the party.
and do both again?
Do we know where the boat ride is going?
They said Christchurch Meadow was where they had the boat. You don't know exactly where they're going. You only know what Aubrey told D'Angelo.
But the doctor's address, we have a set location.
Yes.
Yeah, we can go after whatever that is with the boat. Maybe they're just playing around.
That's a good, valid point.
I mean, they've been playing around a lot, but we need to take a look because that's time sensitive. We don't know. We can go to his house right after.
Makes sense. There's only one that seems to be a time limit. As long as this Dr. Hughes is not suspicious and sends the Star Walker after us.
Well, at least we'll know where it's taking the people.
So we can make sure we're all armed. And yeah, let's see what the students are up to.
Okay, so gathering up your various things that you've brought with you. I read most of you have brought either a sword or a gun on this trip to Oxford, as is right and proper. John, have you got a sword or a gun?
I have neither.
Oh,
I'm not something that's important in my day-to-day life.
that is
Look.
perfectly reasonable for a librarian. You have books. No more dangerous weapons are needed.
Yeah.
That's also true.
Could do a lot of damage with a hard book.
I need to
Yeah.
remind you about your black words.
Is everyone headed down there into the meadow? What's your plan? Are you just going to walk down there? Are you going to try and get there before the students get there?
To observe what's going on first and then react accordingly.
Yeah, it'd be a good idea to get there before the students because they'll need a boat.
Yes.
We can have a look around for a boat and keep an eye on that place. But then again, we'd probably need a boat to follow them.
And
There are a lot of boats.
Oh.
Hunting and boat rides are a popular pastime. And so there are plenty of boats down in the river. You would know from your Oxford days of people, going out boating and hunting.
Yeah, very popular.
That there's some tied up down by Christchurch Meadow.
So I think it looks like we'll try to get there first.
Okay. So by now, the sun is setting, it's getting dark, shadows sort of thick around the undergrowth and between the trees down on the meadow. There's no lighting down here, there's no street lamps. The only light is whatever light you're bringing yourselves. Or a none if you want to stumble in the darkness.
I'll bring a torch.
Like a lantern?
Yes. It's like a proper lantern, not an actual wooden torch.
Is there a moon out at all?
Oh, now I need to check my faces in the moon map for 1894.
It might just be clouded over.
I mean, I could just make it up. I could. No one would know. But I can, in fact, tell you that, where were we? April? Late April?
I think so.
1894.
It's a waning moon.
Hmm.
Probably about a half moon in the sky.
Okay, so not totally dark, but
No. It's a bit of moonlight, but not a whole lot. The sky's a bit cloudy, so occasionally moonlight's coming through in patches between the clouds. But it's mostly dark as you make your way down to the side of the river. You can hear the water lapping at the banks, splashing against the side of some rowing boats that have been pulled up and making its way around the roots. There's thick undergrowth along the side of the river underneath these trees. And at the moment, there's no one around.
Does it
Are
look
you going to wait and hide? Or sorry, yes.
I was just going to ask, is there anywhere that seems good to hide in the area?
There are bushes, there are boats, there is a riverbank, there are trees.
So there are loads of places.
There are options, yes, depending on what kind of hiding place it is you're after.
The people with the guns could hide on the shoreline somewhere in case we need, and somebody without maybe me and John could get a boat and hide ourselves with the boat so we could get out if we need to.
Sounds good to me.
Okay, so where are people hiding? And if you are hiding, please give me that stealth roll. Let's see how well hidden you all are.
Yes. I'm going to try and position myself so I can see everything.
Are you?
So
What are you hiding behind or in? Or are you just trusting on the darkness of the shadows?
Hard success. I'll trust in the shadows, hide by a tree or something.
Okay, tree.
Yeah, I'm using 9 points of luck to make that a success.
Okay.
I will hide by the coast area, so that way basically I'd have to go towards him to get to a boat.
Yeah.
And I will spend 5 points of luck to succeed.
Okay. And Johann?
Yeah, I will have a boat, like there's like trees right on the shoreline,
Yes.
and I would basically push a boat in between those trees, and then hide in the shadow of tree and boat, basically.
Okay. And John? What are you at least attempting to hide behind?
well, I've tried to find one of the boats that would be most obscuring in the direction that we think they're going to be coming from.
Okay, in a boat. Excellent. You crouch down, hide in the shadows. It's dark, the temperature is dropping, it's getting quite cold this April night. Damp air, a slight bit of drizzle sets in as You wait. And then it gets colder. Like, it was already chilly, but it's definitely getting much colder now as you're sort of sat there shivering slightly. As from where those of you hiding near the water edge, you see a little film of ice start to crackle over the edge.
I think I'll get my
Water.
gun ready.
The hairs at the back of your hand standing on end as the temperature drops. And then you see a flickering in the air. On the edge of the docks, just a slight shimmer in the air. And then something steps out of nowhere. This hunched, carapaced creature, turning its head left and right and sniffing at the night air. It turns towards where John is hidden down between the boats. And I need all of you to make me a sanity roll, please. As this thing steps out of the air and starts to advance towards John. You are all just like, this creature steps from nowhere, and all of you, including Johann, the 4 sanity.
Man can spend luck to pass as well if he wants. I think, can you spend luck on
You
sanity?
can't spend
rolls?
luck on sanity, no, you cannot. The rest of you will all lose 1 point of sanity. John, I need you to roll me 1d10. Normally, seeing a creature again, you wouldn't have to make a sanity roll. But A, I'm feeling in these circumstances, John is not looking forward to re-experiencing this, and B, you're a guest, so guests get special treatment. So you lose 2 points of sanity. They're really not much worse off than the rest of them, as you let out a startled cry, and I need you to give me a luck roll, John. Now you're very lucky, so there's very much little chance that this is going to go very wrong. As you stagger backwards between the 2 boats and manage not to fall into the Thames.
Did we lose sanity if we succeeded?
You lost 1 point.
1 point.
1
I
point.
think I'm going to roll you a d10 anyway.
Oh yes, because you lose 1, you've lost 1/4 of your sanity. So 1 of 4. As Johann, this is fear
Again.
bubbles up inside you. The fear of the dark, the unknown things that are lurking out there. You can't see them. There could be more of these things out there. This fear bubbles up inside you. You've gained a little new phobia.
Oh, another one.
Another one. Another little fear. As well, what is everyone doing as this creature has appeared? It's advancing towards John.
As soon as all the ice started coming in, it started getting unnaturally cold. I would have drawn my gun.
Yeah, you've got your gun drawn. What are you doing?
I'll be... Is it a large target?
What's its size? It's a large target, but it's also dark, so those two will cancel each other out.
How close is it to John?
Getting closer. It's about that far. 10.
So
About 20 feet away from him and getting closer.
I'm trying to work out.
If you don't have anything to do, we will go to someone
I'm
else.
probably going to aim at it and see if it starts to head towards him. But
It is heading towards him. It is heading towards him.
yeah, I'm not a very good shot, so I will aim at it with... I'm trying to think now. So it's a large target. If I'm aiming, that would give me a bonus. Yeah, I'll just... I'll be aiming at it ready to open fire. What sort of range? It's definitely not going to be point-blank range, but within pistol range.
Yes, within pistol range, but not point-blank.
Yeah, I'll be aiming at it ready to shoot.
Okay, so get you ready to shoot next time. Okay, Johann or D'Angelo, do either of you have anything you want to do?
Well, I kind of regret that I didn't risk casting my spell. Then again, I would have failed the same sanity roll if I did. So, I'm going to pull my pistol and just open up on that thing.
Okay, there's a flash of light in the darkness as he just opens fire on this creature. It's starting to advance towards John. Unfortunately, he misses in the darkness as the creature continues its steady advance upon the poor, unfortunate librarian. D'Angelo, have you got anything you'd like to do?
I'm gonna take the aim action.
Okay, holding steady. Unfortunately for John, he's really slow off the mark. And with a dex of 22, the creature is going to go before him.
Yeah. Okay.
Unfortunately, yeah, you're not the quickest on the draw here, as this creature advances, closing the gap between you and it as it lumbers forwards. It's now right up in John's face, but that's pretty much brought it up to him. It's there, reaching out his hand to touch him. You can feel the searing cold coming off this thing, and you can see like the ground underneath its feet sort of cracking and darkening as the cold sears into it. And back round to Mortimer.
I'll shoot.
Okay.
Having taken aim,
You've now got a bonus die, yes.
unless I fire 3 shots,
In which case you've got no bonuses. Standard fire.
I'll just put 3 shots at it. I'll just do a service revolver. Extreme success on the first one.
Okay.
Fail or not.
The first one hits, the second to go wild in the darkness. And John, from where you are, you see a bullet go glance off this thing's carapace, leaving a slight groove in it. Johann.
Is there a possibility to just send this thing home?
I don't know. How would you want to do that?
I don't know. What do I?
Do you have anything that would do that?
I don't have anything that specifies this that I can do that. But I do have Cthulhu Mythos, and I would try to think about whether there's ways to get rid of this.
You want to try and banish it, sort of doing the raw power of just raw power of your mind and your will against this thing. You can try. This would be an attempt at a spontaneous use of Cthulhu Mythos.
Sure.
For this, let's see. This would cost you 10 magic points and 1d3 sanity, and then there will be an opposed roll against the creature.
Sure. 10 magic points. 1d3.
1d3 sanity. For the record, he currently has 3 sanity. And he's already in a bout of madness. And
1 point.
oh, You lose 1 point of sanity. And you can roll me another d10 still, as you're down to 2 sanity. As you lose those 10 magic points, your mind sort of fracturing around you, as I need a power roll from you against this creature. Well, no, it's a Cthulhu Mythos roll from you versus a power roll from the creature itself.
Oh, sad. I'm way better at
Unfortunately,
power than I
yes,
am at mythos.
this is your mythos that you're using here. It's a spontaneous.
Wait. No. No, if I hadn't used luck earlier.
You force your mind against this creature. It forces back. It holds on to this plane. It holds on to this reality. As you pushing your energy into it, you sort of stagger for a moment. Your mind sort of lingering on the brink, but it's not going. It's still there. It's reaching for John. D'Angelo, what are you doing?
I'm going to take a shot. I believe I can do the 3 shots as well, so I will do that.
Yes, you can.
Ooh, a hard success. A critical success.
Ooh.
You know what? Just because I'm gonna spend 23 points of luck to make sure that 3rd one hits too.
Okay. So that critical success, you get to add an extra 8 to the damage of that.
Alright, so then that would be 4, 9, 4, so
Yes.
17.
Well, let me just do a little more maths on my end. May not be a full 17. As some of the bullet's impact glances off the armoured carapace of this creature. But it's definitely looking
One of the things,
displeased now.
your handgun skill's gone up by a d10.
Yes, your handgun skill is also increased by d10. As
Let me do that really quick.
the creature sort of staggers, sort of almost like shocked out of its movement for this moment. I'm going to give it a penalty, as it's going to go and grab for John. It's not down, but it's staggered and startled out of what it was originally going to do, as it reaches out to try and grab for John. John, you can try and fight back against it, or you can try and dodge out of the way of this.
I'll try to dodge out of the way.
Okay, ooh, that penalty might come in handy. Okay. Now let's see if you can get a success here. If you get a success, you can avoid its grab. It has otherwise successfully got you. So give me a dodge roll, please.
Okay.
See if your success can beat its success. Its hand reaches out and it seizes hold.
You do have luck
John.
to spend.
I do have luck.
You do have luck. Are you prepared to make that a success?
I am.
Okay. You manage to dodge out just to the skin of your teeth, the slither of luck as its claw closes around thin air. And it is your turn, John. You've dodged out the way of this thing. Its claws snatched closed. What are you doing?
Can I backpedal away from it? Is
Yes,
there room?
you can. Yes, you can.
Okay, and I will do that.
So you backpedal away from this thing. Mortimer, what are you doing?
Put in another 3 shots at it. Okay.
Okay, give me those 3 shots.
Extreme.
Yep.
I haven't rolled for damage on that, but I forgot to do the
Alright.
this bit. Yeah.
Ooh, those are some good rolls.
2 fails, but an extreme.
Oh no, those are fails. I was reading the damage of those. I'll take the damage for the first one as a success. As the damage for the success. I'm feeling generous.
So how much do I roll for damage? It's extreme. Do I add to it?
No, extreme you don't add to it. I don't think it's critical, isn't it?
I can't can't remember. I'm sure something the damage is higher on.
Look,
Oh.
you know.
I'll roll my normal damage anyway.
Let me check my flowchart. Please hold. Please hold. A flowchart is being consumed. Oh, yeah, no, extreme. You do get to add the max damage. It is
I'll do a standard roll.
critical. Yes, plus the max
So
damage.
I rolled a 2 and add 8.
Okay, 10 damage. The shot rings through this thing as it fails to grab John. And the shot rings through. There are now holes in it, bleeding this black Icarus subject. Its form starts to flicker a little, and Johann, over to you.
If I try to keep this up, do I have to roll sanity again?
You have to roll sanity again. You will also have to surrender 10 more magic points.
I mean, the magic points I would be willing, but I can't risk the sanity. I will just scramble backwards and shoot.
Okay. Take a wild shot as you scramble backwards.
Yeah, that looks like a wild shot.
Misses in the dark. D'Angelo, over to you.
I'm gonna shoot it since I don't have any bonuses this time.
Shot misses.
I'll
Unless you want to
spend
spend
6
6
luck
points
to
of
hit.
luck. Alright.
I'm gonna do it. So let me
Roll me
roll
that
a
damage.
D5. 5.
The form sort of flickers. It seems to be losing its grip on this this plane of existence, this reality. Its form flickers. It sort of staggers in place. As it bleeding this black Icarus substance from it. As it begins to fade from existence and disappear once more. Not making any further moves to attack you. You have the brief moment before it disappears if any of you want to do anything.
I want to look around. I don't know if that's a thing.
It's still there, basically. It's not destroyed, it's just vanishing.
It just vanishes.
Or retreating.
Yes.
I'll draw my second gun and take 3 more shots at it before it goes.
3 more shots ring out into the night as it disappears from existence.
For extreme. 1 extreme and 2 misses.
Okay, the shots ring out into the darkness as the Star Walker disappears.
So that is 6 plus 8, 14 damage.
It is gone. It's gone. It's vanished. It's no longer with you. And the echo of the gunshots are ringing off the building still. And that's probably where we're going to have to end because we have already run over. But as we end, as the 3 of you, but the 4 of you, I cannot count, standing on the edge of the river in Christchurch Meadow. We might actually have to do a little bit of resolve because as the gunshots have rung out so loudly, you hear a shouting voices coming from the town, and a policeman's whistle splits the night. Are you sticking around?
No.
And so, as you flee the scene, as the policeman's whistle and the sound of running feet gets closer, you run off across the meadow in the darkness. I will offer you all 1 brief spot hidden if you would like. See if you catch a sight of anything as you run off into the night. Okay. As you're running, as you can see other figures drawing in, Mortimer, you catch just the briefest glimpse out of the corner of your eye. A door closing in a wall to the north of Merton Field as you run across the field back towards the town. Just shutting of a door in the wall of Old City Walk. It's just the briefest of glimpses, and then it is gone. And you
Would that
too
match
are
roughly
gone.
where Dr. Hughes's place was?
It would indeed. But that will have to wait for another day.